verify first thing that the cable is compatible. It is a bell cable, so it will hook up to ours. Normal saline, 1,000 bag is recommended. We can transport with a smaller bag, but it's not recommended because the calibrations are off. Make sure all air is out of the bag before you spike it. Oh, it's already hooked up. We'll pressurize this thing up to the green. There again, it's calibrated for that pressure. It's calibrated for that pressure of the green. I have a green indicator. Indicates 250 millimeters of mercury. So the art line basically comes packaged. It's got two caps. One's a serrated cap and one's a closed cap. So the serrated cap is only used for setting it up. This is the serrated cap is a white, the non-perforated or sealed cap is a yellow. Okay. There's also sometimes there's some questions on which way the transducer goes. The heavy, stiff line always goes to the patient. The soft, flimsy line goes to our bag away from the patient. Once I have it completely hooked up, I'll bleed my air. So, stiff line to the patient. Through the transducer, I can make sure all the air is bled. And the air is out of the system. Okay. Now I'm going to hook it up to the monitor. I do have it in S1 port, which should come up with SpO2 and 1. Okay, so there's my P1 port. And to zero this, at this point, I have to turn this off to the patient. Off to the patient. I remove the cap. I always burp a little dab of water through it. Then I hit 0. Okay, I have the 0 probe. And it is zeroing. And it says 0. Okay, now I bleed a little bit of water or fluids out of it. It's normal saline. I replace the cap. I turn it back off to my cap, back onto my transducer, back onto my transducer, and I can go to my monitor. Okay. Once I have my monitor, I should be able to see a waveform. So if this is a CVP, I should see 2 to 6 is normal. And I want a sharp increase with fluids. So the other thing I need to do is, if this is an art line, this monitor level needs to be set. So to set that monitoring level, I'm going to highlight it blue, and this is my range that I set it at. If it's a CVP, I'm going to have to go down to the lower one because normal is 6 to 2 to 6. So that would be my normal if I had a CVP. I'm really dampered. So there would be my CVP. Remember, it's not telling here really what it is. This is a 15-minute average, so it's not really a true reading of the CVP versus the actual wavelength up here. This will be a delayed. If I do art line, I want to set it at a higher level. If I have hypotension, I could use the lower one. If I have hypertension, I could use the upper one. I'll select that. I'm too dampered here. I got too much air. Okay, when I flush my line, I want to see a fast onset of the rise with a fast decrease. I don't want a sloping decrease.
They moved the meeting to now, so if anybody wants to join, I do have it up just so you know. Okay.
And there would be my blood pressure. It's an instant reading of blood pressure. It's calculated every 1/3 of a second. Another thing that I want to look at is my wavelength matches my EKG. And again, this is a simulated wavelength. At any time we move the patient, we transport them from ambulance to aircraft, we need to re-zero every time. This monitor, the transducer has to set a phlebostatic deal, which is about the level of the left ventricle, no matter what position they're in.
All right. So when we get to bedside, what is the normal? What's the normal setup that we're going to have? Because I know that a lot of times this part will already be set up. What part are we coming into and changing out? Just this art line?
Sometimes we don't even have to change that out. Right, we carry both cables. So with both cables, all we have to do is look to make sure our cable is compatible and go with the appropriate cable.
Okay. Okay.
That's all we should have to change out if it's already set.
Okay. And both of these cables are in our bag?
Both of these cables, both the bell cable and they call it a Hoover cable, which is an oblong looking one, are both in our bag.
Okay.
So we shouldn't have to change anything out.
All right. Okay, thank you so much, John.